So I am chilling back at home after being out for about 45 days. Just finished my last run with my trainer a couple days ago. I'm going to take a little bit of a break between now and the time I go up to probably Springfield to get my truck. Now, I've had some questions come up. People have asked some questions, some regarding Prime, whether it be their PSD training phase, their TNT training phase, or just Prime in general. And then I've had a few people just ask trucking related questions. So kind of some thoughts I have going on in my mind. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to play this out, but I wanted to do a video about my pet peeves when it comes to trucking and truckers and things like that. I wanted that to be just one video just because I didn't want my channel to kind of look negative over the course of time, but I may break those down into certain or into different videos just because I think some of these need a little bit more time to focus on. It's not going to be totally negative, but certainly some things that irritate me a little bit about the trucking industry. I'm sure a lot of these irritate a lot of people. I've had questions about pay, things like that. I'll dive a little bit into that. Now, it's going to be hard for me to really dive into it. I did speak with somebody I was in training with that just went solo, so brand new driver, and she is a company driver, and she is in a lightweight truck, so she's making, what is that, 50, I think it's 50 cents a mile, something like that. So whatever it is, it's 5 cents more, I think, per mile than your regular condo style truck. So I'm getting with her to see what her miles are, and that'll I'll be able to base kind of some income off of that. I'll also be able to come up with a video. Somebody had asked me about training, pay, and staying on with your trainer. That's going to be a little bit more difficult just because once you decide to upgrade from a student to a co-driver, that pay that you're going to be making is going to be based on an agreement between you and that driver. So when I did that with my former trainer, it's probably a little different than it would have been had it been a long-term situation. I knew why I wanted to stay on this truck, and he knew why he wanted me to stay on the truck, neither of which would have been neither of those situations were going to work its way into a long-term situation. So my situation was probably a little bit different than what most would be, but I can kind of go over what I think the averages are, whether it be two drivers teaming together as company drivers. Probably I'll be able to do that a little bit easier because that's just going to be basic miles, plug it in, things like that. There are a few bonuses I may not be able to get into, but we'll get into that later. Another thing I want to talk about, and we will get into a couple more videos, comments. If I forget to comment on a video, that's one thing that is that is a pet peeve to me. When people put out a video and they ask a motherfucker to comment on it and then they never reply to a comment, you know what? To me, that's a pet peeve. And if I've got behind on some of these comments, I do apologize for that. I have another YouTube channel that, especially this time of year, I'll probably be getting 500,000 to 600,000 views a month, probably this time of the year for the next month and a half. So sometimes that takes a while for me to catch up on those videos. But if you leave a comment and I haven't commented, it is not because I have not tried to comment back, whether it's a good comment, bad comment, whatever, because that is certainly something that I try to do. While we're just kind of chatting a little bit, for those of you guys that have had either, international probably wouldn't be. I know that trucking along with Kirsty's going to probably want to slap me, but I'm really not too interested in an international. But if you've driven a Peterbilt or the newer Peterbilt, the 2020 Ultra Life, as opposed to the Freightliner. Kind of let me know what you think about that. I've kind of torn between which one of those trucks I want to go with. I might end up going with something that's a little bit of an older lease, just to give me a little bit more flexibility down the line. Anyway, this was just kind of a little bit of a way for me to tell you what I have kind of coming up. I've had some people ask me about real estate investing, things like that. I'm not, I did a very in-depth video on that really isn't getting any views whatsoever. I'm going to leave a link to that video in this iCard up here. So if you click on that, that'll take you to that video. I did that a while back and really don't have a lot of people looking at that video, which kind of, well, I'm not even going to go there. But I could do as many videos on real estate investing or why you should invest in real estate as a trucker, but to me, it just doesn't seem like the interest in the trucking space is, or the interest in trucking just is not there. I can't explain it. I could go on and on to why I think this is the case and why I think it's wrong that they aren't, but I'm not going to be forcing anybody to get into anything that they're not interested in. As far as the question, will I get into that? Probably not. I've tried it. I speak about it a little bit, and there just isn't any interest there. Some people have kept asking about my relationship with my first trainer, and I keep saying that I'm going to do a video on it. The last time I was back in town, about 2 months or a month and a half ago, I started that video and couldn't finish it, and every time I go back to that, I think I want to do that video, and for some reason I just haven't. I'm still unsure if I'm going to dig into why I left my first trainer. Not because I'm afraid to put that information out there. It's just it could just be a bad look, I think. And maybe get people concerned about things that probably may not be an issue. But I may do a video and not really get really deep in it. I may just get into like kind of a outline of it without really digging down into like the actual issues that were there. I don't know. I'm still torn on that. So just wanted to kind of let you know kind of what the direction is going to be. I'm not sure how deep I'm going to get in this channel as far as editing and things like that. One thing I can tell you is that you're probably never going to have me speaking about how to do this or how to do that on my channel. I think that there's a lot of channels that are out there that are going to be a little bit better at that. What I'll try to be bringing is my perspective on different things, or if there's something about the trucking industry I think that I could bring a little bit of value to, I might do a video on that. As a matter of fact, what I will do a video on, I think I might have put this in my pet peeve video about truckers, is, I'm just going to touch on it, but this whole like thing about these truckers that have been in the industry for less than 7 years. I mean, to me, 7 years isn't enough to be bragging about. You're an old timer in the industry. You're talking about back in my day, one of my pet peeves I'm just going to mention now is just all these truckers that are out here, when they see somebody that's having a hard time backing, they pull out their cameras and they're out here, laughing and doing all this kind of stuff. I just saw this happen when I was at a truck stop. I forget what state I was in. But that's definitely something that I may do an entire video on, and why I think that some of these truck drivers are actually doing that. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by my channel. I am going to start getting a few of these videos out. And other than that, I'm trying to come up with a few recipes, because while I'm here for these 21 days, or however many days it works out to be, probably not 21, probably 14 to 17 days, I want to get a few videos done for my cooking channel, No Hippie Barbecue and Cooking. So I've been trying to come up with some ideas on that. At the same time, I'm sitting here trying to catch up on some of this sleep. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of days, really, is just catching up on this sleep. One thing that I'm kind of looking forward to is being able to be out on the truck and actually being able to get some good sleep without that truck constantly moving. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation Wannabe. We're going to be dropping that wannabe off here pretty soon. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.